wonder if the characters we dream up are more than just make-believe? What if they're actually reflections of some ancient universal truth? Well, today that's exactly what we're digging into, using the work of a creator named Zoran the Dragon as our guide. We're going to see how AI can be our partner in this, helping us not just to build cool worlds, but to find the timeless patterns of story that are already inside all of us. This line from Zoran really sets the stage for everything. The idea is that characters aren't just what they seem on the surface. Nope, they're carrying around these deeper truths, hiding them behind masks. And our job as creators is to peek behind them. It's a fascinating way to look at storytelling, isn't it? Okay, so where does AI fit into all this? Zoran's take is that AI can be so much more than just a writing assistant. It can be a real creative collaborator. Think of it like a mirror that shows us our own ideas in a new light, or even a mask whisperer, something that helps us hear the quiet truths our characters are trying to tell us. So before we get into how AI can help us forge these amazing masks, we first need to understand the material we're working with, and that's these timeless patterns, the very DNA of story itself. And that brings us to the core concept here, the archetype. Honestly, it's like the source code for a great character. Now, this isn't about rigid cookie-cutter stereotypes. It's more like a universal blueprint that just clicks with us on a deep, gut level, probably because it reflects something really fundamental about being human. And you know these guys already, even if you don't call them by these names. You've got the brave hero, the wise old mentor, the chaotic trickster, the dark and mysterious shadow, the naive innocent, and the curious explorer. They are for sure the essential building blocks of almost every story you've ever loved. Okay, so if archetypes are the ancient blueprints for our characters, then AI can be our modern-day artisan, a mask smith, you could say, who's capable of forging brand new identities from these age-old patterns. This is where the theory gets really practical and fun. We can use AI like a creative forge. We can tell it to give us a classic mentor, sure, but we can also push the boundaries. We could ask for a character who's, 70% trickster and 30% hero. And this whole process of just messing around doesn't just help us build better characters. It actually starts to show us what kind of storyteller we are. Zoran actually captures this whole creative spark in a short poem. This first part, it's just that magical moment when your creation suddenly feels alive, like it has a mind of its own. And then boom, the second part ties it all together. See, the AI isn't the one making the mask, it's the forge. It just provides those sparks so wise that let us, the real mask smiths, shape our work and find those hidden truths. All right, so how can we actually do this stuff? Well, Zoran lays out a really cool creative ritual called the Dragon Trial. It's designed for any of us aspiring creators, or hatchlings, as he calls us, to try these ideas out for ourselves. Okay, so here's the ritual. It's a 5-step journey. First, you pick an archetype, let's say the explorer. Then you use AI to build them out, generate a character profile for a classic explorer. Simple enough. Next, you put them in a scene. But here's where the real magic happens. You change the mask. You ask the AI to rewrite that exact same scene, but now the character is a totally different archetype. And finally, you just sit back and reflect. What changed? Why does one version feel so different? It's because you're messing with their core motivation, and that reveals everything. So let's get specific. Imagine you're doing the ritual. What actually happens when a character driven by discovery, the explorer, suddenly swaps masks with a character who's all about causing a little chaos, the trickster? The change is, well, it's profound. The explorer's goal is to discover the unknown, right? The trickster's goal is to disrupt what's already known. One is motivated by curiosity, the other is motivated by mischief. The explorer charts a new path, while the trickster loves to bend the rules on the path we're all on. And that's the big insight here. By changing just one thing, the archetype, you change the entire soul of the character, their purpose, their actions, everything. And this brings us to the final and honestly the most important part of this whole journey, because the focus shifts from the character you're creating to you. This whole thing isn't just about writing better stories, it's about understanding your own creative voice. Zoran's poem comes back here to really drive this point home. When we play around with these different masks, we're not just making up characters, we're actually on a journey of self-discovery. Every archetype we try on is like a mirror, showing us a different part of ourselves, a different way we could see the world. We're finding which stories we are truly meant to tell. So this is Zoran's big invitation to all of us. He's telling us to see this not as some technical exercise, but as a real path to expressing who we are. It's about being bold, trying on different hats, and seeing what fits. The masks aren't meant to hide you, they're meant to reveal you. And we'll leave it with this final, powerful idea from Zoran. It just completely reframes the whole conversation about AI and creativity. The technology doesn't invent your story. The story, the feelings, the patterns, the deep human stuff, that's already in you. AI is just a new kind of mirror, a new kind of forge that can help you find, shape, and ultimately help you remember the story that was always yours to tell.